And welcome to the Survival Report podcast. As always, hosted two places on our forums at www.survivalandpreparedness.com, survivalandpreparedness.com, a quality source for survival and preparedness information on the net. Again, survivalandpreparedness.com. And some of, not all of, some of the podcasts are also hosted on our YouTube channel at survivalreport.net. Survivalreport.net. And of course, the direct link is survivalreportpodcast.com. Survivalreportpodcast.com. As always, we want to thank the folks that make the podcast, the forums, the videos possible. Our sponsor at jrhenterprises.com. jrhenterprises.com. 21 years in business. 21 real years in business in the survival and preparedness market, offering highest quality night vision, thermal imaging units, medical kits, long-term storage food, radiation survey meters, new batch of M96 NATO threaded full NBC gas mask filters just arrived. These have been really hard to get, guys. These are not the, $22 Euro surplus, 500 years old, questionable, dubious materials, etc. type of filters. These are the real deal NBC filters. They're not cheap, unfortunately, but they're if you want to really survive a chemical attack and things like that, this is the kind of equipment you use. You don't buy a what used to be a $5 mask and with a 400-year-old filter and expect to come out swimmingly. It just doesn't. Very low probability on that. So right now there is some of the new M96 full NBC protective filters available right now on the website. Again, jrhenterprises.com. We don't have a lot of them. They are moving pretty quick, especially with what's going on in Syria and the Middle East and all that good stuff. So don't forget, you need a good quality mask, protective suits, which include boots, gloves, hood for your mask, and most importantly also the proper training and how to use them and all that good stuff as well too. We keep masks in our vehicles, we keep masks under our beds, all that good stuff as well too. So a lot of the newer crowd tend to overlook the NBC possibilities, focusing, closest they get to that is focusing on EMP attacks just a little bit. But there is a big wide world out there, folks, with some of these other scenarios involving nuclear, biological, and chemical. So again, thanks to our sponsor at jrhenterprises.com. And as always, our other sponsors, our other supporters include the North Georgia Coal Mullen Society, the North Georgia Coal Mullen Society, and the Central Florida Coal Mullen Society. A big thanks to them for their continued support of the podcast and the forums. We appreciate it, folks. Coming up, April 7th, we're getting down to the wire on this, guys. April 7th, Orlando, Florida. Survival Medicine 1 from the ground up. Survival Medicine 1 from the ground up. Beginning back in 1993, we started a series of survival medicine classes. Back then, we would host them in state parks and various things like that. And always very popular in the 90s, did some of them in the early 2000s, switched to a tactical medicine type standpoint in the early 2000s. You can see some of the reviews online from some of those old classes, Tactical Lifesaver, things like that. Now then, everybody's doing a similar sort of some sort of school or class and that as well too. We've been doing these medical classes, hosting them for a long period of time. Once again, I do not teach these. These are taught by PAs with vascular surgeon experience, surgery experience, with long-term EMS experience, with, two tours in the sandbox over there, guys that, have taught these things already to, paramedics and EMTs, to, military troops, the combat lifesaver and the TCCC curriculum and all that good stuff as well too. So don't get confused. I'm not teaching that class. We're just hosting it. But again, Survival Medicine 1. This will be a one-day format on this class. It's coming up April 7th in Orlando, Florida. Space is filling up. And you can go to survivalmedicine.com, survivalmedicine.com, and sign up for the class. We have extended the March 1st discount on the class, so it's just $175. You can pay at the door as well. We just kind of need to know, approximately how many people are coming, so we can have some course materials there for you. If you don't want to let us know that, that's fine. I don't really care, but there might not be course materials there for you as far as done up notebooks and all that good stuff. So again, survivalmedicine.com, April 7th, Orlando, Florida. Survival medicine from the ground up. All right, guys and gals, getting into it today. I had a lot of questions about the Cyprus situation. Most of y'all probably been following it by now. Guess it was about a week or so ago. They're in bad financial straits like half the world, largely due to piss poor management. Excuse my language. And essentially, they're, looking for handouts from the EU or whoever else will give them, the IMF, whoever, I don't follow the politics very well. I'm more concerned about how it affects the man on the street and all that good stuff. Well, one part of the problem was you had, they shut down the banks, they shut down there's been, I believe, about a week or so now worth of bank holiday in that as well, too. And, of course, the smart folks, well, not so, I wouldn't say smart folks. The smart folks were, didn't have to run to the ATMs. But anyway, the the next level up, the smart sheep, we'll say, they ran to the ATMs when that first announcement came out, that sort of thing. What was interesting was just a few days ago, a good week or so into it, you started seeing they're running on the food now, and you're seeing them buying up stuff at the grocery stores and, a little mass confusion in grocery stores and things like that. The only thing I can think where the lag time there was people didn't have money to purchase. That was the only thing I could consider there because, or just the story wasn't getting out that much ahead of time. But it seems to me, if you don't have any cash, you don't have any walking around money, or a couple $1,000s or whatever, stuck in a coffee can at the house, the first thing I would do after hitting the damn ATM would be to hit the grocery store if I was of that mindset. But I guess some of these people, it didn't occur to them, or maybe they didn't have the cash or whatever. All I could assume was maybe people were waiting to get paid or, something along those lines. Normally, the runs begin bank, then, gas, people gas up. It's just like a hurricane down that we experience a lot down here in the southeast. Is you get people that, they run to the bank first, then they run to get gas, and then they fill up, the groceries and everything else. And it was that same way also on 9/11 and that as well too. A lot of people didn't do much that day, but a lot of people did go to the banks, get a little cash, fill up their gas tanks if that was all it was, But anywho, so the idea has been, and I've gotten a lot of questions about this, what about if this happens in America? How does this affect us? Yada, 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 yada. All right, well, we've always stressed a very balanced approach when it comes to money, when it comes to the possibility of an economic collapse, all that good stuff as well too. All right, I'm not your typical cash everything out, buy gold and silver, blah, 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 blah guy. Everybody regurgitates that, been around 1,000 years, guys. Never ever underestimate the marketing power of the gold and silver dealers. They have their fingers into a lot of these things. You read a lot of these little commentaries that people send you a link for, all the time online or post on forums and that. And it's like, the market's about to collapse and, gold's going to go to $5,000. Read between the lines there, guys. Oftentimes these are just BS puff pieces from, buygoldfromme.com or whatever the hell, some gold or silver dealer, okay? So we have to understand and temper any of the excitement we see from things like that with the understanding that a lot of it is marketing hype, all right? Guys, I hate to say it, but there's a lot of marketing hype used in that industry as there is in the preparedness industry as well. And a long time ago, somebody that probably couldn't sell enough gold and silver sat and figured out that they can market it to, preparedness-minded people as, the key to everything, the solution to everything, and you have a lot of people that call themselves survivalists that essentially they're just gold bugs. They're just EM type people that focus primarily on just the money side of things. All right, well, the money may or may not feed your family. So again, the biggest thing is always be able to feed your family without running out to the store at the last minute and all that ridiculous ideas. You need to be able to feed them for at least a year. If you've been doing this for any particular period of time, and it's been more than just, making lists and playing, academic survivalist or reading fiction stories online, if you've been doing this a couple of years, there's, I'm going to be blunt here, there's absolutely no reason you should not have accumulated a basic year supply of food for your family by now. Okay, there's multiple resources online, wrote articles years ago showing you how to do it for less than $1 a day. So no excuses, basically, point blank. And to be honest, no adult in this country has any excuse not to understand the need for some of these things since about 10 o'clock in the morning on 9/11/2001. So, the economy collapsed, economy got bad, and that's why I couldn't. Well, what the hell were you doing with your money while it was good? Why didn't you think that? Did you think it was always going to go on super dandy? Well, that's a character problem. That's a problem with your planning. I can't help you with that. All right, if you're behind the curve, guess what? You know what that means? That means you bear down and you push the boulder a little faster till you get caught up. That's called life, guys. That's whether you're behind at work, whether you're behind in whatever you do. If you're behind the curve a little bit, if you're running behind, you hurry your butt up. All right, so your food is going to be your primary thing there, number one. That's not even in question, shouldn't be in question. Cash, again, this is where I diverge from a lot of people. I've never said that, you're going to be wiping your butts with 50s and kindling your fires with 100s, right off the bat. Are there scenarios where your money, cash money, again, like FRNs, Federal Reserve notes, may be totally worthless? Yes, without a doubt. There's always that possibility. What you have to remember is that early on, in even a big major, majorly bad, EMP event or something like that, there are going to be some Dunskies who will still see cash as, an acceptable form of transaction. All right. Everybody is going to be playing these games in their mind where they don't want to accept how bad things will be for a short period of time, at least a couple weeks. Like I've always said, like on the thing where I talked about the savior of the subdivision, there'll always be the Pollyannas that are sitting there, they're looking out their window every morning thinking that, the Red Cross van is going to roll up into their subdivision and give out, hot coffee and donuts and everything. All right. That's the time, if you have cash, that's the time to use it during that initial, period, or to, shall I say, unload it if you have to. All right. The tricky thing's going to always be, and this is, it's just like when to bug out. The tricky question is always going to be there is, well, what if it goes full-on collapse, or what if it just, things slowly start getting better? You don't know. I don't know. We're not going to know. Again, like I say at, prepper conferences and things like that where I speak, is we have to learn to make decisions without every last scrap of, research and all that good stuff. We have to learn to make decisions and not delay decisions based on the fact that we don't have all the data. Because guess what? You're not going to have all the data. If you sit around and wait for all the data, the situation's going to roll right over you. Okay. All right. So I think you should have some cash. Do you need to empty out your bank account? No, probably not. Could this Cyprus thing happen in America? Yeah, no reason it couldn't, especially with the socialists we have in the White House, especially with the you owes me type attitude that's going around everywhere, including with conservatives, guys, I'm not just talking about hood rats when I say that. Guys, it's flipping everywhere, okay? Go to the forums. Took a picture a while back. I was just absolutely floored. Middle class looking, weren't wearing rags, obviously were fat and very damn well fed, older white couple, maybe mid-60-ish, something like that, buying a boatload of food, and I'm talking about good food, not, rice and beans like we eat at the Henry household. And, I'm behind him in Walmart, and the guy's rude as shit, sorry. He's, rude to the cashier, the whole 9 yards, and took forever, and, this, that, and the other, and what did he pull out? He pulled out a peach card, which in our, great state here is your, swipe, 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 you on EBT, yeah, you know me, freebie card, okay, the food stamp card, whatever the hell it's called now, SNAP or whatnot. Anyway, so it's not just stereotypes, guys. This isn't the 70s anymore, the 80s. There's probably as many, if not more, scrubby white people, scrubs, on that stuff as there is, African Americans or just Africans, or Hispanics or whatnot. Okay, so the stereotypes, they're gone. This entitlement mentality is everywhere. It's even in the prepper movement. Read between the lines on a lot of people's posts and, what can the government do for me? And, I'm going to go and get this because it's free and everything should be free and somebody should come and help me and train me and do all this stuff for me and it should all be free. That's socialism, guys. You need to get that. You need to purge that crazy flippant attitude out of your mind because that's not conducive to making it. And what we want too, what do we want? We want when the smoke clears, when all the damn bad stuff happens in America, guess what? Obviously we want those people gone. If they die in mushroom clouds over New York City, hey, all the better. This is why I've always said on the community crap, you're going to want to rebuild again, but later. You're going to want to rebuild again, a year afterwards or whatever. Why? Because the people that have made it that long, they're going to know they have to work. There's going to be 2 camps at that point. Not 3, not 4, not 6. There's going to be the people that bust their butts, that understand they have to work to survive, and then the other camp is going to be the raiders. And that's going to be it. A year into it, because anybody who sits around on their butt waiting for the FEMA truck to come a year into it, they're going to die. They're going to die of starvation. They're going to die of dehydration. The people that are going to mooch off of the producers, they're going to get kicked out into the curb, or they're going to, slip on a knife 18 times backwards. They're going to be done rid of. All right. So we will purge this out of society during a major collapse. That's a good thing. All right. What we want is we want people to be thinking right. We want to rebuild America, if this happens, into a country like it was before, not into, the United Socialist States of America, under Obama, Comrade Mugabe, whatever the hell. All right. A little rant there. Sorry. Anyway, so cash does have a place. Now, What place does it have? Should you have, all of your money out in cash? No, there's problems with that. If the currency is switched, or you run your mouth too much, you get busted on something, and all of a sudden here's $40,000 or $50,000 in cash American dollars. Guess what? The media is going to label you as what? As a drug dealer, or as a money launderer, or this, that, or the other. Why? Because we've been conditioned via media for 20 or 30 years now that cash is bad. Remember, all the retards that don't know how to quote scripture right, what do they say? Money is the root of all evil. That's not at all what the Lord said. He said the love of money is the root of all evil. There is a difference. Money is a tool. Money can be used to feed homeless, to send people to South Sudan, to train them and to equip them and to help Christians there and spread the gospel. Money can have good uses. Money can also have bad uses. You can go and, hookers and blow, that sort of thing. Drugs and prostitution, or gambling, or whatever. It can have bad uses as well, all right? So it's not that the money is the root of all evil. It's the love of money. It's covetousness of money, all right? So another little side rant there. Why should you have some cash? You should have some cash because if you're one of these PMs only, precious metals only, type of guys, guess what? If this Cyprus type thing comes down here and your account happens to be frozen at your, bank or whatnot, guess what? Now on day 5 or 6, you're going to need something, right? Because nobody's completely self-sufficient, right? So you're going to go to the store and, what? Oh, hey, Susie, the cashier, will you take this Krugerrand for my, or this 1/10 of an ounce Krugerrand for my, $200 worth of groceries, Well, what the hell is that? No, we don't take jewelry. No, sweetie, it's not jewelry. This is a gold coin, and it's worth so much, and you should just, because the gold and silver dealers, they've told me for years, you should just be head over heels over this money. Yeah, right, get out of town. So what are you going to end up doing? You're going to end up taking it to, going down there at the pawn shop. And what's the pawn shop guy's going to do? He's going to rape you on the price of it. And especially if you have no sales and negotiation techniques and things like that. He's going to see that you have a need. He's going to talk to you a little bit. Why are you selling it? And you're going to go, well, I got to buy groceries. And boop, wrong answer. And he's going to go, okay, I see, gold's about such and such, and, but this coin's a little tarnished, and, bleedy-blee, blah-diddy-blue, we'll give you $100 for it. I got $200 in it. I expected to get at least $3,000 out of it, because these gold dealers told me I could do that. And the guy's going to go, yeah, good luck with that. All right, or it might hit when the market is down on your PMs. Say you were one of these guys that, and there's a lot of them out there, that bought gold when it crested near $2,000. You want to sell it now? I didn't think so. Why? Because it's what? $1,600 or something like that now. But if you are forced to because of your lack of cash, your lack of, multi-balance planning, guess what? You may have to do that. Then you're out, you're losing $400. So this is the time, again, if this sort of thing happens, where you start offloading your cash. All right, so there is a place for some cash, not all cash. Listen very carefully to what I'm saying before you make a comment. Oh, you got this all wrong, blah, 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 blah. Listen to the whole damn thing before you place a comment and saying, I'm saying all you need is cash or anything ridiculous like that. You need a balanced approach. All right, I'm going to further blow your mind by telling you that you need to stay in the market if you have a retirement fund that's separate from all this good stuff as well. Oh my God, you just broke the survivalist sin number 1, because everybody knows you should never be in the market. You should pull all your money out of your Roth IRA and 401k because the shit's hitting the fan tomorrow. God, I've been hearing that for 27 years. Okay? Been hearing that for 27 years, guys. All right, you know what else? I've been witnessing people that have done that. That said, well, Steve Quayle, Dan Lloyd, whoever the hell, this guy, that guy, current talking head, Alex Jones, whoever, said that the economy's going to collapse right away and I got to get out of dollar-denominated investments and blah-diddy-blah, blah-diddy-blee. And they did it in 91, in 87, in 95, in 98, in 99, in 2001, in 2005, 2007, 2008, 2010. And you know what? A lot of the guys that I know that did that, they are at the age where they should or could be retired. I have a sneaking feeling, and in a couple cases I know for sure why they are still working. They are still working because they cashed out of their retirement funds, they cashed out of their 401 or their Roth IRA or whatever, to what? To go crazy, or to hide it under the mattress, or to buy gold and silver, maybe at a bad time even, and now it's down in price, or whatever. Okay, we need a balanced approach, guys. Here we go. Here's going to break a lot of people's hearts. There is a very high possibility that we're going to grow old and the shit's never going to hit the fan. The economy's never going to fully collapse. The concept I call it is Cole Mullen. The continuation of life, more or less, like it is now. The acronym spells out Cole Mullen, COLMOLLIN, Cole Mullen. What is that? That's kind of the antithesis to Teotihuacán or Teotihuacán, whatever the hell, the end of the world as we know it. Now, your preps for the one should help the other as well, okay? But the point is, you have to plan also for maybe something not happening. All right. Now, this is where you pull your hair out. This is where the people that are into the conspiracy theories and that read the news all the time are going, man, you're crazy, you just lost me. You look at the warning signs, look at shadow stats, look at this, look at that. Okay? It has been bad before, guys. Is it probably worse now than it was then? Yes, without a doubt. No arguments from me whatsoever. Again, like I said, listen to the whole thing before you start making comments, all right? Now, that being said, is there a guarantee that the economy is going to collapse? No. No guarantee of that, all right? They have pulled 1 million rabbits out of 1 million hats. All right? It's happened over and over and over again. Might they pull another rabbit out of another hat? Yeah, probably. Might they not? Yeah, probably. The overriding thing here is no one knows. No one knows the date and time except my Father that's in heaven, right? Okay. So, what does that mean? That means we need to plan for also, if nothing happens, that we have some retirement funds set away. All right. Now, that being said, good preps taken fully the way you need to do it, i.e., homestead in a safe area, owning your own home, being out of debt, having multiple income sources, growing a lot of your own food, raising, a lot of your own meat, producing as much or all of your own power, that sort of thing. Those are Cole Mullen preps, because whether the stuff hits the fan or not, that saves you money every day. That's part of a good retirement plan for a survivalist, for a prepper, okay? Because market do whatever the hell you want to do. The sun is still shining. My solar panels are still charging my batteries as of right this second. Those baby goats are out there growing, and they'll be on the grill in a few months. The fruit trees are doing great. The planting is in for, broccoli, and winter stuff is about done, and in a few weeks we'll start pushing in the beans and the corn and everything else. What does that mean? That means we will have things to eat. We will have power. We will have our home, all that good stuff. All right. Cole Mullen preps. Prep for stuff not going to a full collapse also, because there's just as good, or dare I say better, chance of the world not ending as there is that the world does end. All right. Hopefully this makes sense, and hopefully you're not freaking out right now and hearing opposite of what I'm saying. All right. Now, PMs, yes, definitely have some PMs. View them as an investment, for the long term, that sort of thing. Everybody talks about them being a good investment until the fact that you show you work it out and you work out the rate of return over, say, 20 years, and it's dismal. Then all of a sudden, the argument goes to, well, it's not an investment, it's a hedge against inflation. Okay, well, if we're still only getting, 5 or 6% since, 93 or whatever, that's probably just barely keeping up with inflation. I have PMs. I'm not saying don't have PMs. The biggest thing I'm trying to stress here, guys, is multiple eggs, multiple baskets. All right, and that's important. And also, like I said, plan for if nothing does happen. We got a little sidetracked today. We started out talking about Cyprus and all that good stuff, and we'll talk about that more in an upcoming podcast as well. But draw down your accounts a little bit. I wouldn't completely close them out. Balance your approach. Little PMs, little cash. Pay off your debts. That's more important than the cash. Well, you ought to have at least a couple months worth of cash, but pay off your debts. Guys, you'll have so much more freedom, so much more initiative when you don't have that debt anchor around your neck. I got out of debt in 2008, middle part of the year, completely debt-free. I prepped more in the following year than I had prepped in the previous 10 years. I went on more vacations and went to more training classes and every damn thing I wanted to do in that first year being out of debt than I had in the last 5 or 6. Debt is slavery, guys. Get out of that. That needs to be a priority as well. Again, good preps will help us in the future whether the world ends or not. We'll talk again soon.